This week in comic books, DC gives us Task Force Z, and it's oddly satisfying. Like I'm genuinely enjoying that book. Over in the land of Marvel, we get Moon Knight, and Moon Knight teaches us the difference between intrinsic value and instrumental value, and how his faith is the value that he puts forth, and it's a good message. It legitimately is. In the land of Independence, House of Slaughter comes out. Hey, what happens when you don't have a bright idea, but you keep wanting to make those dollars? You force feed a story into the public. Maybe you could take a lesson from Moon Knight. Just saying. All that and a lot more comic books right after the intro. Hey, you wonderful weirdos. Pocan Joe, and as always, you're super cool for coming by. Love having you here. Great time. Got a stack of comic books, and I got a bunch of other things that are going on, and I want to share it with you. So let's jump into the comic books with Detective Comics, number 144. So this is an in-between issue for me, like a filler issue, because we're still dealing with Parasite or Vile. We're still dealing with Vile and his babies, I guess. His hatchlings, right? His bugs, we'll put it that way. They attack the mayor, and Batman's like, oh, I got an idea. The world's greatest detective and one of the top level minds in the comic book realm decides to light him up with 10 amps. I'm like, oh, that dude's dead. And in here, he's like, hope I didn't kill him. And I'm like, yeah, that dude is ghost, right? Like, he's ghosted. That's it. Dust. 10 amps. That's a lot. God, that's a lot of amps. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot until you find out what an amp is, right? All you electricians out there, comment below. Let the people know. 10 amps. Like, you're done. But anyway, so all in all, it's kind of just, something in between the relaunches. We know the mayor's not dead, thanks to Future State. So that's not even a spoiler at this point. If you've been reading anything Future State, you already know he's not, because they gave us the end first. So you legitimately can't spoil this book. So, whatever. Moving on. Deathstroke Inc. number 2. Now, I said I wasn't going to get this comic book, right? But I kind of picked it up because I was like, oh, it's an attractive cover. I just wanted a better look of it because I refuse to cover buy anymore, which is a lie. Any comic book collector says it's a lie. But anyway, so I looked at it and I just kind of flipped through it real quick. And Deathstroke's in space with Darth Maul's, right, lightsaber. You remember the staff with the 2 lightsabers on each side? And I was like, oh, now I got to buy it because I got to find out what this is about. Really, it's just an intrigue story, like spy type stuff with superheroes, right? And, of course, they're going to take it to the extreme in here and find out that the people they work for really aren't that good, which we kind of already found that out in issue 1 and in the launch of this from the previous series. So, yeah, I have to get issue 2 now, or issue 3. I have to get issue 3 now because I'm kind of like, where is this going? And, that's good writing. Got me hooked. All right. DC versus Vampires. So this started off like really slow. We get this really long-winded story about this vampire who just randomly shows up to the Justice League, and he's like trying to warn everybody that the vampires are coming. The vampires are coming, and so he finds out that the first vampire attack happened at the Legion of Doom, and apparently Lex Luthor, my boy, his blood is like the cure. That's some religious tones there, but whatever. And so the vampire, Andrew, decides to make sure that Batman gets the blood, but then goes talks to Justice League to kind of warn them, and Hal Jordan Green Lantern is, he's a vampire. What is it with Hal Jordan lately? Like, he was possessed by Darkseid, and now he's like a vampire. Like, they always make him be the turncoat. I don't get that. Also, Zan from the Wonder Twins was in here. If you don't know who Zan is, he's the one that turns into boring stuff in the Wonder Twins. Like his sister's like, I want to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And he's like, take the form of a sponge. And everybody's like, what? I don't even know why that's a comic book character, but whatever. All in all, it's not that bad. I think the long-winded part of it's over. I'll be interested in picking up issue 2. It is a 12-part series. I don't know if I'll get all 12. All right, so Robin. This is just an information dump. That's all this issue is, right? We find out who Mother Soul is. Mother Soul is Ra's al Ghul's mother, right? So you know that's an old bird there, right? Um, we find out Respawn was about to take his mask off or her mask off because we don't know, and that got shut off real quick because of action adventure, right? Flatline and Robin end up paddling out in here, and there may be a fake death in here, right? So she may be coming back. So yeah, this is okay. It's whimsically fun, and I kind of like the snarky attitude of Robin in it. There's some things he says. I'm like, that's ooh, good stab. Like sick burn, right? So I think that's the only reason why I really read this. I don't care about the tournament. I don't care that this island needs the vengeance murder of people to survive. I don't care about that. I'm just wondering, what, smart ass comment Robin's gonna say next. It's all, I guess. It's funny. Task Force Z. So this is oddly interesting to me because it's kind of doing this thing where, and we've done this before, where you use zombies as, kind of like cannon fodder or as a rushing force in both video games and movies, right? That has happened. And in this one, they actually make them like the elite soldiers, right? And of course, they're being led by Jason Todd. I guess he's dead too, but nobody's respecting that boundaries. We got a mysterious character in here who's just weird and creepy, and we know that she's dead in some way, shape, or form. We have a faceless voice in a box, kind of like that thing from Charlie's Angels. Just not as nice. Well, actually, it's extremely polite. And of course, we got the Dr. Scientist lady. Apparently, Lazarus pills, right, are what keep the monsters at bay to some degree. We get an appearance from Crazy Quilt in here. If you don't know, he's an old character, and it's kind of funny because Man Bat pretty much drops that body and eats it. So they're still learning to be a team, even though they're zombies and don't really understand each other. Also, there's a character named Bloom in here too. I don't know this Bloom character. At first, I thought it was the Ten Eyes character that we see in the Halloween special over there in DC, but it's not. It's a character called Bloom. I don't really know much about this character. If you know what issue this character's in or anything about this particular character, comment down below. I don't know if it's a returning character or a new character. Like, I just don't know. So yeah, if you could help me out with that, that'd be cool. Because I would like to say this is the first appearance of Bloom, but I don't think that's accurate. But yeah, he's super creepy, knows powers, he's not dead. He wants to make sure everybody knows he's not dead, because he keeps telling Todd to tell everybody he's not dead. So yeah. It's pretty good. It's oddly satisfying, I think is the best way to put it. Alright, jumping into Marvel. Darkhold, right? I love me some Darkhold. And this stood up, like, because I was like, oh, we're going to do a bunch of branching stories, and some are going to be lame. And again, I flipped through the book first, and I was like, oh, it's done in that kitty kind of art. I don't know if I'm going to like this. Then I read it. Oh, and it had Amadeus Cho in it, which I don't really know much about that character. That was before I got back into comic books. When they first appeared, I've seen them in other stories, and I'm like, it's an Asian Hulk. Like, that's the best I can get from it. That may be hugely insensitive, but it's what I got for you. Like, I don't want to tell you. And he's an Asian dude, really good with technology. See, I'm not the bad one. They're the ones following stereotypes in here. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. But he's kind of the focal point in this story, in this world of vampires, right? It's really super cool. Fisk is like a fat vampire that can't move, like that one from Blade, the movie, surprisingly, right? He's like all fat and stuff. It's a great sound effect. But still, this is a fun and interesting story. It's pretty predictable, I think is the best way to put it. But I love how lively it is for a bunch of dead people. Happy Halloween. You're welcome for that. Alright, next. So I grabbed this and I was like, oh, we're going to do things with Venom. Ugh. And then, like, there's no Venom in here. So I was like, that was satisfying. So, like I said in the intro, this brings up a good thing. So there's a thief, right, who's stealing all of Moon Knight's money. If you don't know, Moon Knight's like crazy, stupid, wealthy, like on top tier level wealthy guy. and this is what allows him to, function and be who he is. So the thief keeps trying to hijack him by making him do things, and if he doesn't do it, he'll drop $1 million here, $4 million here, $5 million here, and really he was just buying time doing the mission to go beat somebody up for him, just so he could get a little closer and find out where he's at. And then basically tells him the money doesn't mean anything to a priest, which immediately brought into mind this, this intrinsic versus an instrumental value. Money's an instrument, right? It is something for us to gain, trade, and move forward with, right? Instrumental values are different things. They're like virtue, faith, things like that, right? So the concept of a priest, which he keeps referring to himself in here, and shunning away the money and the more noble life or whatever that faith is a great example of that kind of philosophical point in here. And I really enjoyed it. I love the way the comic book brought it to life. I don't know if it was purposely done or if it's just, hey, we're just trying to tell a story here. But I thought that was really ingenious. So I liked that. That was pretty cool. Moving on to House of Slaughter. So our character here is homosexual or bisexual. He's non-cisgendered. I think would be the best. I don't know the words for today, but whatever. He kisses a dude here, likes the dude. It's obviously going to be a love story. Great. Good for you. He's also got a limp and he's got to overcome the odds, right? And he's just not there at that top tier level, with all the other white mask people in there. Okay, great. And he's coddled and given cake, and this rough around the collar hunter guy from New Orleans is gonna live in their house for a while. And he obviously has a problem with the elder, but thinks he's sexy or something. They kiss. He's romantic, he's passionate. Don't care. Wow, none of that stuff in it itself makes for a good story. Those are all just tidbits of a human nature. I want what a comic book should express, the extraordinary, right? The beyond the ordinary. At this point, having a character that's not straight, not white, not, whatever rules we're breaking nowadays is pretty much just the trope at this point. And as far as I'm concerned, throwing another story out there with something that's killing the children is just a money grab at this point. This was a non-starter for me. This is a brain dead story. Granted, it's issue 1. Will I pick up issue 2 just to see if this goes anywhere? But again, I find this to be slow reading, no real depth in it whatsoever. We're just going to show you things and say things because we don't really have a story. So, right? Guy kissing guy. Suck it, all you haters out there. And I'm like, who even, okay, fine. Let's do something cool. I'm just waiting for the cool story, right? And it wasn't there. This was just an issue. So, I don't know. I hope it goes someplace. I hope they fight monsters together or kill the elder or there's some quest that they have to go on. That's a story, and that would be interesting because it goes beyond the mundane, right? And I would think that's why we read a comic book. But independent comic books apparently just want to tell mundane stories. So, cross the bear. So, this kind of takes place in the Old West, right? Actually, the story's older than that. It's a bunch of Templars, or order of Templars, we should say. And apparently one of them, left the order and went to the Wild West. Tombstone, right? 1800s. Roughneck town, right? And one of the guys from the order is like, I need my friend because we're chasing down, and every hint that you could possibly give points at Jack the Ripper. The killing of women, the cloak, the hat, it's the whole thing. And I was just like, you're just telling a Jack the Ripper story in the United States. Good job. Yeah. Okay. What's in future? So What's in future still has its ups and downs, and this was definitely an up. So Duncan, Granny have to go to Bath to save his girlfriend's parents, but come to find out there's a white knight there. It's tropey as it is, as comical as it is, it still reads very well, and it keeps you suspenseful. So I already know what that means. If I could just get every other issue of this, I would probably rant and rave that this is the greatest comic book ever. I need to start timing it out better, apparently. All right, guys, that's my haul for this week. Very rarely do I ask for people to subscribe or hit a notification. Well, I do ask to hit the notification bell because I always got something going on. But you definitely want to hit the notification bell now because tomorrow I am picking up a box of comics from a guy that I met on Facebook. And from what I saw in the pictures, there's some really huge stuff in there. And I'm very excited to be able to share with you. A lot of it is this modern, high-end stuff. And when I say modern, just modern aged. So I don't really know, like Riri Williams, those type characters. It has a lot of that kind of stuff in it. And I'm just like, oh. And an Amazing Spider-Man that's even huger. Hugest? Larger? I'm not sure. But some good stuff in there. Plus, I got an unboxing for you as well. Boom. Also, if you're not subscribed or even know, all the Evil Layer projects have been moved over to their own channel because YouTube can't tell that this guy and the guy on that channel are the same person, and they want me to separate them. So we had to do that. So definitely go over there and check it out because Nick's Kicks and Comics Finger is done, completed. It will be in the mail tomorrow, and I'm going to watch that video because it's going to be kind of important that he sees it before the package comes, so he'll know how to put it on and stuff like that. So we'll get that out as quickly as possible. I'm going to be in a rap battle. This is something I've always wanted to do. I'm by no means a rap star or anything like that, but DJ Links, link in the description. All channels that I'm mentioning, links will be in the description. Was nice enough to allow me to come on his little in the mix rap. It's not really a battle. Well, it is a battle, but it's not like a contest. So his little rap battle that he does, every occasionally there on Friday night. So I'll be going over there and doing that. I have some sick fire. I think that's what the kids say. Some dope rhymes that I'm going to be bringing over there, and definitely come by and check it out. Live chat going on. You can bash our rhymes, whatever you want to do. Say good things, say bad things. They're really cool guys, and I'm super happy to be able to do this. I think this is going to be fun. And of course, Blaster Stash It Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself, Huey, and Spectacular Spider Grandpa. We're going to review these comic books plus more with a live chat where you get to participate and join in as well. If there's a comic book you've been reading and you're wondering about other people's opinions on it, definitely ask in the chat if we've read it. We're happy to do it. You don't want it to get stuck in a lightning round where we're just saying, hey, I read this. Nobody wants that. And so yeah, a lot of stuff going on here at the end of October. Staying busy. So I'll let you go so you can go check out other stuff. I'll talk to you later. Bye.